Hey guys, it's the second episode of Let's Get PR'd, and it's all about you. I want to note that everything in this video is very hard to accomplish over a short period of time and even a longer period of time. A lot of this takes a lot of consistent work on your end, and please don't feel frustrated if you're trying to work on this, especially the mentality sort of things, and it's not going well the first 2 weeks that you're trying it, or the month, or maybe even into the second month or later. I don't have a concrete timeline. It's not like all of this is a hard science. This is kind of just how I've evolved with the game and how I've gotten past some roadblocks that I want to help you guys with. So first off, when we're talking about you, we're going to talk about stuff in the match and then outside of the match too. First is understanding your character's weaknesses. Obviously, you want to do your best to avoid them. Heavies, you don't want to get juggled. Characters that you're doing bad or that get gimped super easy, say Cloud. You want to avoid those at all costs because that's where you're going to lose the most, is when not only are you in disadvantage, like a disadvantageous state, but so is your character. Playing only to your strengths can hurt you. If you're, say, Luigi at the start of a match and you're like, this is a fox, I know what to do if I grab him. I'm going to like down throw, up smash, read whatever his option is after that, and then combo him for another like 40%. That's good, and I want your punishes to be good, which we'll talk about in the next point. But if you're only going for that, I know at low percents, okay, Luigi really wants to grab me, and he doesn't really want to hit me with anything because then his combo percents are messed up. So now I'm like, don't sit and shield, and let's just have some good attacks going at him. Don't overextend into a nair, but focus on avoiding them. And if you're so focused on only having like one trick at each point in the game, kind of like if you're a boss fight in a game where it's like, all right, you have full HP, you're on this first phase. Now they have a little percent, you're equating to the boss, you're now at like the second phase. Now this is what I do here. Now they're at kill percent. Now you start doing your final phase. We want to avoid that because when you are just in this set motion that people can predict, you're in a very bad spot and you're going to lose matches way earlier than you should. Whereas if you were looking at all of your tools all of the time and trying to sprinkle it in, you'd have like a much tastier dish than some bland meatloaf that is, all right, Luigi, grab, down, throw, fair, fair, grab, down, throw, fair, fair. All right, start to spam up smash. We also need to think about what your character does well in relation to your weaknesses, because if your weaknesses are getting exploited, you need to hammer in what your character is good at. If you are Mario, you're not just getting 20% out of your combos. You are getting 50, 60, 70. You're killing people. You have to be good at this stuff because you want to be able to make up for whatever is going to happen to you when your opponent gets in and utilizes what's bad against your character. Because what you're trying to do to them, they're trying to do to you too. And this will help clear up if you're having a bad disadvantageous state. If you're really good at what your character does well, it doesn't matter. As long as you don't lose your 2 stocks before them, every match is winnable if you can do what your character does well. That's mostly for character weaknesses about you. Next, we're going to talk about adaptation. When it comes to what you're doing wrong, we'll talk about adapting to your opponent in the next episode. Take a breather on the angel platforms. The little respawn, when you come back, you have 5 seconds till that disappears and your invincibility starts to go away, which I believe is either 2 or 3 seconds once you've dropped from it. I'm not too sure. But 5 seconds is a lot of time to be able to reflect on what you did right and what you did wrong. You can think about, what are the moves that killed me? What is the specific setup they used? How did they bait me into doing that? And how can I avoid it the next time? Like, there's a local Luigi player who, when you sit on ledge for a while, he'll roll towards the ledge as he thinks you're going to get up. So if he times it and gets the grab, he can catch your standard get up and like your jump, and then just back throw you and kill you. And if you can realize, hey, this is how he killed me, and you avoid that in that same scenario later, now you've taken away a kill option from your opponent. But also, what you got caught in neutral doing in like mid percents. Did someone call out your short hop aerials? Did someone call out your run up shield? What did they get the most percent off of? And in turn, what did you get the most out of? Did you get a lot out of running and shielding? Did you get a lot off reading for grabs or looking for rolls or fighting them in the air or just doing what your character does well? What led to those situations? Lastly, to think about when adapting in this position is, what did I not use in my last stock that is good or unexpected? And it can be both. Don't get me wrong. Like, say I didn't tomahawk down tilt as Diddy. that could be something, hey, that's good and not expected all the time. I should try using that. Or maybe it's, hey, maybe instead of running up and throwing banana at him or command grabbing him, I run up and throw banana up or down and then grab him while I'm sliding forward. Something that they're not necessarily looking for that, regardless of how good or bad it is, can net you something. And don't get me wrong, I'm not being like, all right, Luigi, dash attack 5 times in a row, because he's not stupid enough to think I'm stupid enough to do it 4 times in a row or something. We're going to go on to keeping a healthy mindset. This is probably one of the toughest parts of the video, and there's more to encapsulate than the 3 points I'm going to talk about, but I feel like these are 3 major areas that are very important, and once you have these locked down, everything else when it comes to a healthy mindset is pretty easy. So remind yourself of what your opponent can do when a match starts with their character. Say you're playing a Rosalina or a Bayonetta, realizing I might get Luma janked at 20%, or I might get Witch Twisted up into the Blast Zone and die, or I might get Witch Time and take 60, 70, 80%, however good the Bayonetta is with her combo. Talking about it beforehand is going to help it be better when you have it happen to you in a match. So if the first stock, you're like bodying the Rosalina and they're at like 120 and then they get like an air dodge read jank on you with a Luma up air and you die at 20, having thought about it before the set will make you realize, hey, it's okay. I knew that this could happen. This won't stop me. I'm not saying that you're not going to get tilted or that you shouldn't get tilted. Don't get me wrong. I've died to Luma stuff really early. I've gotten edge guarded super early as Diddy. I have to realize the faults of my characters and the jank that someone else has and be okay with it. Because if I lose myself on that first stock or any stock during the match that's not my last, they've won the set without having to take all of my stocks, which is what we really, really want to avoid. Moving on though, a set is not over till all of your stocks are gone and all of the games have been completed. A lot of people will lose momentum and completely feel like the game's over, and so not only has your momentum been killed, but your will to win has also. Because by telling yourself, I can't make this comeback, I'll try some stuff, but you're not working hard and you're not thinking about exactly what you need to do. Because if you're at 150, or I don't know, let's say something realistic, like 110, 120, and they're coming down, and you are not ready to play to avoid every option that's going to kill you, it is so much harder to win. My piece of advice on this, I think, is very important. I went from taking a more aggressive approach with Diddy Kong to taking a slower stock tank style from doubles and bringing it into singles, and I realized if I don't die, my opponent hasn't won. And that's obvious enough, and you're like, well, yeah, co-op, duh, like, that's so stupid. What do you mean? Yeah, you haven't lost yet, so you're not out. But if I'm at 120 and my opponent's coming down, I'm thinking, all right, Mario wants to grab me, or he wants to stuff out my arrows with up smash. If I can avoid both of those, he will not kill me. And I will do whatever it takes to avoid those, no matter how small the chip damage is, if I'm not overextending into any of that. And slowly working towards he's getting closer to kill percent. He's at 60, he's at 80, he's at 100. I've got the rage down to an up smash will probably kill in another 10%. Thinking like that and realizing what you can get killed by and avoiding it can really change how those games go. Allow yourself to feel good when you start playing well or you get a read. Now, I'm not meaning you get a Luigi up B read or a nice edge guard, like air dodge read with a spike, but feel good about yourself on the inside. Don't like pop off to the other person like, God, you suck. No, don't do that. That'd be awful. But feel good about yourself and ride the like quote unquote high that you get from that, because feeling yourself and feeling better about your play will only result in you feeling better. My doubles teammate, when we first teamed together, he told me that on the way to the tournament we were going to, make sure to smile as much as you can, because you start to feel better when like you're physically smiling. And I've tried to take that to heart in like every aspect, like feel the positivity and good things going on at any point, and it's only going to get better. Lastly is post-match. Take down notes after your losses, because that is exactly when you remember, like, man, I should have grabbed more. Man, I should have down tilt up smashed more. Maybe I should have used banana more. Like, I'm joking, but I'm being serious. Like, that is the point where everything is fresh in your mind and you can get the most out of it. Take every win with pride. I'm not saying pop off super hard when you win your round 1 or round 2, regardless of if, like, it's a hard fought one. Like, if you want to, you can pop off, like, whenever. Might get annoying, but you can. But what I'm saying is I don't remember a lot of my round 2s and 3s, because 4 is when it really starts to matter for my skill level. But I definitely win that first set and I take like, yo, did you see that cool thing I did? And I'm like riding that until the start of my next match. Like, A Corrin like pinned at me on the Smashville platform at a recent tournament, and I back aired him right out of his jump. He was dead at 8. That was it. And I just rode that. Like, I went into my next match with my friend, and I was like, dude, I killed this Corrin at actually 8%. You can take positive things from matches that might not, like, be the most rewarding in the sense of I beat someone who is at my skill level or higher, or I have a bad set record with. Feel good about winning a set, because it is someone who came there, paid, and tried to win. So, like, it's not like, oh, you know, it was just free, whatever, I'll just move on. Like, don't get me wrong. If Zero is round 1 at the biggest tournament in the world, like, he's not going to be like, yes, I just beat X Sniper COD XXX. Like, don't get me wrong. Realize if you lose, everyone at a tournament except for whoever places first loses. And I know the people who get, like, 2nd through 4th, their losing is better than yours because they end up getting paid and they place higher, you know, and it helps with PR, but don't get stuck up on, like, God, I had these losses at this tournament. It sucks. Everyone loses. Everyone loses to someone lower than them in skill. Everyone for sure loses to the people better than them. And it's okay. Losses give you a lot more material to get better than wins do. So it's much better that you go to a really stacked tournament and not do so hot than, like, if you went to, I don't know, like a free weekly and 2-0'd everybody and it's like, cool, I made $10. Like, you get a lot out of losses. Positivity, even when you lose, which is kind of what the last point is and what my general talk about post matches is being positive regardless of what happens. It's okay to lose. It is 110% okay to lose. And I know I was talking about this in the last point, but finding something to keep away that negativity is very important for your growth. Because if you walk out of, like, your losses with the tournament upset, it's very hard for you to, like, look back on things and be, like, okay with it. Especially if you're sad about a loss that was recorded, it's going to be so much harder to watch that set again. Trust me, I'm someone who tells everyone watch your VODs, and I barely ever do because I hate watching VODs that I lose. It is one of the worst things because you know exactly what you did wrong. You know exactly what you could have done in that situation, and you really know if, like, there was that one option that you wanted to go for, but you're like, I'm not confident in it, and it would have won. I get it. 110%. Watch your matches, realize it's okay to lose, and move forward from them. It's so hard to do, and it's okay if it takes a while. This is not something I'm being like, hey, go watch all of the VODs you have, relive every loss, realize all those tournaments where, like, you could have gone another round or 2 or 3, like, if you had just beat that one person. Don't get hung up on that. There is always another tournament. There is always. Even if you're moving states and it's like your last one here and you're like, you're not sure about the Smashing, you're not going to have one with these guys again, you will. You never really quit Smash. You never really get to fully leave. It's always there for you. There is always another tournament. This one was a little long-winded, and I'm sorry about that. I hope all the talking points really helped. And in the next episode, we're going to be talking about what you can do with what your opponent presents to you. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, like, subscribe, yada, yada. And I'll see you all in the next one.